This week, is Sam Jackson being a hater or no? Issa Rae is back with season 2 of Insecure, and this is the year of execution. This is the outline.
The outline. With Kevin Dwayne. The outline. With Kevin Dwayne. This is the outline. With Kevin Dwayne. Kevin Dwayne. Kevin Dwayne. With Kevin Dwayne.
Yo, what's up? It's the outline with Kevin Dwayne. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 36. Remember, you can subscribe to this show on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and KevinDwayne.com. I appreciate you all for sharing the podcast with your friends and leaving those amazing comments and ratings. I hope your week is off to a great start and filled with joy, productivity, and general well-being. I think I'm coming down with something, you guys, and it's my fault because this morning I went running. It was 40 degrees. It was kind of chilly. I had on sweats and gloves and stuff, but I didn't wear a hat, and the clouds were out. So it was kind of, I want to say, sprinkling a little bit. So between the wind and the sprinkling, I think I may have fucked myself up because now, I'm coming down with like a cough and a sneeze and I'm like, oh shit, here we go. So I am about to be on my Theraflu and take my ass to bed as soon as I'm done with this podcast. But if I sound a little groggy or sniffly, that is why. And I know on podcasting you can hear everything, but that is the reason why. Because my ass had to go running this morning because I'm trying to stay on my shit. Summer's coming, so I want to make sure I'm good for summer. So much for that. But I'm happy to report back that my birthday last week was so much fun. It was one of my most memorable birthdays to date, actually. I received so much love from friends and family, and that really made the difference for me. Like, it was really a great time. My inbox on Facebook and Instagram and my comments and my text messages and emails, it was just a busy day, and so many people showed me love. Now, I know with like Facebook, it doesn't take much time for people to say happy birthday to you. They see it in the events. But I received so many heartfelt messages from people, and that just meant so much to me. So it was a great way to spend my day. I definitely felt the love. Now, my best friend Charles came down from Memphis last Wednesday, and from the time he got here in Atlanta to the time he left on Sunday morning, we were in the streets. We went to so many restaurants. We had so many sweets. There was so much alcohol. And I may have or may not have got some, but I'll leave that to your imagination. But it was an excellent birthday. I had a good time turning 31. I enjoyed every moment of it. So it was a great way to begin a new year of life. So thank you so much if you were involved with that in any kind of way. I truly appreciate it. I had such a good time. So once again, my birthday was a success. So yeah, so I'm excited about that. But it's back to the bullshit this week. And I don't mean it in that way, but back to regularly scheduled programming, which means work and podcasting and writing and just living life. Now, I'm still accepting belated gifts and things like that. If you want to take me out to eat, that's cool too. But for the most part, it's back to normal and back to achieving goals and pretty much executing things. And I'll talk more about execution later in this show because it has something to do with the main topic. But let's get into what's going on in social media and television and hot topics and stuff like that. So the movie Get Out, which I talked about last week, has crossed the 100 million mark in the box office, which is a great record for director and writer Jordan Peele. If you haven't seen it, what the hell are you waiting for? It is a great movie. Go see it so you can be a part of the movement and you can see these think pieces and it'll all make sense to you. It's such a great movie. I actually saw it twice. I saw it once a couple weeks ago and I saw it again with Charles on my birthday. And it was good watching it again because since I knew it was going to happen, I could pay attention to other shit and catch on to certain things that I didn't gather when I watched it the first time. So I recommend seeing it twice because there's so much to unpack, but I enjoyed it a second time around. But as you guys know, with success comes extreme criticism and other bullshit. Recently, Samuel L. Jackson criticized the directors for using a British actor, which was the lead, Daniel Kaluuya. I can't say his name. Y'all know I butcher names so badly, and I want to come back because I remember I was saying Mahershala Ali's name wrong. It's Mahershala. I was saying like Mahershala or some other shit, but someone let me know it's Mahershala Ali. So I got that right. So now let's get to this actor from Get Out. His name is Daniel Kaluuya. And that's Kaluuya. I hope I'm saying that right, but someone will let me know, I'm sure. But Samuel L. Jackson criticized directors for using him instead of an African American. He felt an American would have done a better job because they have lived through racism in America. Daniel responded that he resents having to prove that he's black. He said he's too black for Britain, he's not black enough for America, and it's frustrating. Honestly, Sam Jackson was super out of touch for this criticism. He sounds salty as fuck, in my opinion. Racism isn't exclusive to America, and Daniel is a dark-skinned black man. It doesn't matter where he's born. People aren't checking paperwork before discriminating against us. You know what I mean? Like it just sounded salty, and he needs to just sit this one out. Furthermore, American men don't have a problem playing Africans in movies and shit, so I don't see what the big deal is here. It just seems like a salty ass criticism based on the success of the movie. Had the movie not been successful, we probably wouldn't even hear from Samuel L. Jackson. And it's just weird because Samuel L. Jackson has like the most roles in movies like ever, so it's like, why are you even speaking on this shit? But Daniel did a great job. He was perfect for the role. He was a great actor, and that's what matters. He was the best actor for that role. It's not a matter if he's American or not. He did great. It was excellent. It drove the point home, and that's why the film is as big as it is, because he's an excellent actor. And if you haven't seen him before, he was in Black Mirror, so you can check that on Netflix, season 1. I'm not sure what episode it was, but it was the one where it was kind of American Idol-esque, and they lived in this little box where you had to kind of work for points and shit. But check it out. But he's super dope. Not to mention, no one's criticizing Idris Elba, and he's not American. I just have so many questions about all this, but I honestly feel like Sam should just sit this one out. And I think, furthermore on that point, I'm sick of black people in general making an issue out of who is black enough to do certain things. People criticize biracial people in the movement. They criticize you if your skin is too light. They especially criticize you if you're gay. But no matter how you cut it, we are all black. Stop this shit. Stop this shit. My skin color shouldn't fucking matter if I'm protesting or I'm in support of the movement of black people and fighting for equal and civil rights. Like, who cares if I'm light-skinned, dark-skinned, biracial? I'm still fighting for the rights of black people. And I think we got this shit so fucked up sometimes, and it's frustrating and whatever. So, yep, Sam was off base for that one. Daniel did a great job in the movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. So, moving on. So many of us have moved on, speaking of moving on, from the Nicki Minaj and Remy Ma beef because, well, our attention spans aren't built that tough. Like, we move on week to week. It's whatever. But as many have noted, Nicki finally responded by releasing 3 lackluster tracks that weren't so much disses, but a ploy to take jabs at Remy for what she said in Sheether. She had a couple, I guess, witty lines, but it fails in comparison to the 7-minute diss that Remy delivered Nicki, 2-3 weeks ago. Now, I didn't even listen to the second diss that Remy did because why? There's no point. You did everything you needed to do in Sheether. You could have left it alone, Remy. That was an L on your part. But Sheether still holds tough. It comes down to this. Nicki Minaj is a businesswoman. While she loses when it comes to being the queen of rap at this point, and that's just my opinion, but As Kid Fury says, she's the queen of rap sales, she's the queen of rap fashion, she's the queen of rap makeup. But right now, she still looks weak to me when it comes to going head to head with a direct competitor, like real talk. So I don't know, but she has the bigger platform. So naturally, to her fans especially, she is the clear winner. But what can you do? It is what it is. I'm over it. Now, I was totally team Remy during this whole ordeal, and I still rep Remy. But I feel like I have to pull back because I can't get with the lyrics on this song with her and Papoose, where she's talking about homosexuals and HIV carriers. Now, on YouTube, it says the track is Culture Vultures, which is supposed to be a diss to Young Money, but I think that's inaccurate because they haven't released it yet. I think it's an older track with her and Papoose where she's dissing somebody else. And somebody just uploaded it to try to get, views and shit because people were just ridiculous like that. I don't think it's the actual Culture Vultures, but it's an older track, and whoever she's dissing, she's calling them a homosexual, and she's like, oh, you and your whole crew are carriers of HIV, and I just can't rock with that. And here's my issue. I'm over people, especially women, who utilize gay men for their vernacular, makeup, hair, styling, among other things. But as soon as they want to insult a man, they compare him to a gay person. And I'm not here for gay shaming. I'm also not here for HIV shaming either. Like, that's fucked up as hell. And why don't these people see how problematic that is? Think about the message you were sending to a gay man who you have befriended, when the best insult you can give another man is that they're gay. Like, that's trash. Like, repeat offenders of this are Atlanta Housewives, Tamar Braxton, K. Michelle, and many others. They literally use us up for everything. Shopping, whatever it is. I don't know. They just use us up. But as soon as they get mad at a so-called straight man, they want to call him, gay, fag, whatever. Hell, there are people in my family who I don't fuck with for this same reason. You can't say you love me and accept me, but as soon as you get mad at someone, you're calling them a faggot or a bitch. It doesn't work that way, love. It just doesn't. Like, it's problematic. And I mean, it's more than just the women, it's the men too. Like, one of my nephews, he kind of drives me crazy because while he does, I see him like in threads trying to defend me. And I don't really ask for being defended because I'm kind of beyond that. Like, I am who I am. Fuck that. I'm not looking to be accepted. I'm independent. But I have seen him kind of be like, you know what? There's people in my family who are gay. Show some respect and this and the other. And I noticed that. But I also noticed that when he jokes with his friends and shit, and I don't think he notices I noticed this, he jokes with his friends, he's calling them faggots and gay every 5 minutes. I'm like, that's not conducive to you supporting me. But some people are so lost in it that they don't even realize the damage that they're doing. So what do you do? Whatever. Moving on from that. Finally, Issa Rae announced that season 2 of Insecure will premiere July 23rd on HBO. When I tell you, I am so excited about the return of Insecure. I hope it's a little longer, maybe 10 episodes, maybe 15, extend it, because 8 is just too short. But I cannot wait to see all the characters return. I can't wait to see that season 2 glow up, because every time you hit season 2, there's a glow up, more funds, more money. I think it's going to be dope as fuck. Although season 1 was pretty damn glossy. HBO shows in general are glossy, but I'm just looking for that fucking glow up on season 2. So I cannot wait to see it. So make sure you guys prepare yourselves. Watch season 1 if you haven't. Watch it again. But the countdown is on. Bring on summer. Bring on Insecure. I'm ready. I'm ready. And I can't wait to see fine as Jay Ellis, because damn. Hell, all the men on that show are fine. Fuck it. I'm ready to see all of them. All of them. So congratulations to Issa. Like, she's kind of like, man, this is her moment. Issa is killing it. Killing it. This is her moment. So happy for her. Can't wait for the show to start. Let's get into our main topic. So every week on this podcast, I treat it like a weekly phone call or even a diary, rather. You guys are my listeners and we're talking about real shit. And I don't mind being vulnerable. I don't mind talking about like serious shit and things like that because I think that's what connects us all. And that's what this podcast is for us to connect on certain shit, you know? So let's talk about weight for a moment. And I'm talking about stuff like that. Weight is something that I've always struggled with. My weight fluctuates so much. Granted, it doesn't really change anything when it comes to my dating life and, you know, my sexual health and stuff like that. I always tell people it's just a different audience. You know, when I'm thinner, I attract a certain type of guy. When I'm thicker, I attract a certain type of guy. It just is what it is. But it's still something that I've always kind of struggled with. Like I've always kind of had like, you know, moments of kind of like, this isn't the weight I want to be. I want to be this weight and stuff like that. I mean, as many of you guys know and followed, I lost a bunch of weight at the end of 2015 and the top of 2016. While I haven't gained all of that weight back, I have gained some back. And shit like that is frustrating, especially with my body type. It has a lot to do with how I process sugar, my slow metabolism, and it also has a lot to do with me not sticking to routines and regimens. Speaking of body types, let's talk about body types for a second, because there are so many misconceptions about weight and size among people. I can tell you to meet these people who are naturally athletic, and they assume that everyone's journey is the same, and they don't take into fact that there are 3 different body types, and you must work accordingly to gain certain results. While there's no such thing as being big boned, I think that's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. There's no such thing as being big bones. Our bones are the same goddamn size. But it's important to know how our bodies are so we can tailor our regimens to your results. So I actually pulled this from coachmag.co.uk, and it's the 3 type of body types. The 3 types are ectomorph, endomorph, and mesomorph. An ectomorph is naturally lean and long. They have difficulty building muscle. I always laugh because these are like in those old teen movies, these are always the nerdy guys, like the Urkels of the world. You know, they're the ones who they're really lanky. They can't, it's hard for them to build muscle. So think about people you know where it's hard for them to like gain any weight. And I think about the criticisms of these people. A lot of people meet ectomorphs and they'll be like, oh, you need to eat a 2-piece and a biscuit, or you need to eat more. Oh, you need to eat more. You too skinny, you too this. Not realizing that's their body type. It's hard for them to build muscle. Then another body type, which is the body type that I identify with, is endomorph. These people are typically bigger. They have high body fat, often pear-shaped with a high tendency to store body fat. These are the thicker people. And then the final is the mesomorph. Mesomorphs are the people that we all like can't really stand. They're muscular and well built. They have a high metabolism and responsive muscle cells. So they're in between ectomorph and endomorph. These are those naturally athletic motherfuckers who can do 10 to 15 push-ups in a week and be cut up. They look perfect. They're the model types, you know. It's not hard for them. And what I'm finding is mesomorphs can be the most judgmental fucking people when it comes to fitness. They think everyone's journey is the same as theirs. I could be projecting, but I've noticed that mesomorphs are just like, man, just stop eating so much, or just eat more, or just do this, or just do that, not realizing that their struggle is actually a little more privileged than anyone else's. Now, once you know your body type, there are ways to tailor your workout so that you are getting results you want. I learned that I was an endomorph years ago, and so I work out accordingly. I know how to get myself together. It's just a matter of discipline. So as an endomorph, I know that I have to watch my carb intake. I have to watch my sugar. I have to, eat more vegetables. I have to have more protein. I have to lift weights, focus on my shoulders. And it's all about watching what I eat. High protein, low carbs, lifting, regularly working out. And that's what works for me as an endomorph. So I would recommend figuring out what your body type is and then tailoring a workout or a regimen based on that. And that would give you some guidance on, how to get your shit together, But that's neither here nor there. That's not even the point I wanted to make with this main topic. So when I turned 30, my theme was to be intentionality. I committed to set good intentions, and it certainly paid off. It even pushed me to creating this podcast. This year, as I turned 31, my theme is execution. One thing about me is I'm a dreamer all day. I am filled with ideas. I'm constantly conjuring and creating things in my head, but I'm not the best at execution. I do get some things done, i.e., this podcast and my photography, but there's so much more I can be doing with my time, but I'm not properly executing. So that's a goal of mine this year. Naturally, I'm an obliger to others, so I get things done when it comes to other people and their goals, but I don't show up for myself enough. And that's what I want to change in the year of 31. There's so much that I want to do, but it takes a special kind of effort for me to complete certain tasks. But I've learned that I have to be honest with myself and I have to take action to make change. I'm not a child. No one is going to do anything for me. Like, no one's going to make my dreams happen. No one's going to do my work. I have to do it. I have to work hard. I have to execute my own goals. And that's important. I mean, take my weight, for example, again. Like at my fittest last year, I was tracking all my meals. I was working out regularly. I was weighing myself periodically. But when I fell off, so did my body. Just like my weight, among other things, I know that there are things that aren't happening the way I would like because I lack a level of self-discipline. But I want to change all of that moving forward. And I'm going to change that by tracking and scheduling. Because I refuse to just sulk and feel bad for myself, and because that's counterproductive. I'm committed to executing. That's what's important. So this is what I've decided to do. I'm back to tracking my food. I'm back to tracking my workouts. No matter how annoying it can be, I know that it works for me because it makes me look at what I'm doing. It's just like having a budget for your money. You see where your money's going and you make adjustments. Do the same with food. Last week, I also purchased a daily planner. I'm now scheduling my personal priorities throughout the day. The rule is, if it's on the calendar, I must do it. And this is already working because it's accountability to myself. I have to be more accountable to myself. I schedule things like writing, preparing podcast notes, working out, updating my resume, and even time to just be. But it gives me a certain structure that works. It's a structure that I can really, really work with. So that's where I'm at with the year of 31. Tracking. And I recommend you guys find an area of your life that you can track as well. What is something that you want to achieve? Realize that you got to put it on a schedule. Take baby steps, and you have to track it because that's how you know if you're going to meet your actual goals. Nothing happens from just kind of free balling it. I can't come up with another phrase for that, so I say free balling it. And I realized for me, all of my successes in life have come from tracking and scheduling. When I graduated from college, when I got certain jobs, podcasting, photography, my money, my weight loss and my fitness, it all comes from tracking and just paying attention. This is why at work we have to do reports, and this is why we have to write things down, because if the willpower isn't there, it's not going to happen. So that's where I'm at. I'm trying to stay on track, and yeah, I'm all about tracking and scheduling. So feel free to check in with me about that in a few weeks. I'm okay with you guys keeping me accountable too, because it's what I need. It's what I need to make sure that I am doing what I need to do. But yeah, well, that's all that I have. I am going to go get some rest and some fluids and try to knock whatever this is out of my body. But I will talk to you guys next week. As always, thank you so much for listening. Please share with your friends on Facebook, on Twitter. Leave your comments and rate it. And yeah, have a great week. Peace out, you all.